That looks okay, I think. I don't know. Hold on. That's a little better. Let me try to get myself in the center of the frame here. I try not to lean on this table so much because, yeah, bouncy, bouncy. There's not much I can do about that. I'm on the boat, obviously. Happy July 16th, everybody, 2023. Hope everybody is doing great. Hope everybody's having a great day. Phil Sitar just coming in loud and clear with about 100 thumbs ups. Thank you, Phil. Appreciate that. That definitely helps the channel. So we got about 20 people. I got to do my best not to lean on this table, so I'm going to try to keep my hand somewhere down there. Hey, Osprey, how you doing, Tim? Jim Dabrowski, also Scott Wagner. Saying I look like Grizzly Adams. Man, I tell you, it's been a long time since I was able to, have a full beard, so I'm absolutely enjoying the beard. My wife's not enjoying the beard so much, but as long as I trim it up about every week and a half, it's not so terrible. Steve Steele, thanks, man, for the cheerleader right there, asking for the thumbs up. Very, very nice of you. Ron Wagner, good to see you. Steve Steele again, Scott Garbs, Lima Charlie from him in Southern Illinois. That's great. Pat Enos, a lot of Tangle Tackle Army members coming on here. Appreciate that. If you want to join the Tangle Tackle Army, you can do so. The link is down in the description. It gets you access to our private Discord page. And if you want to ask some of the members on here, you see them on here. Their names are in green, and you can see their ranks next to their names. If you want to ask about the Discord, just ask some of the people that are on here. It's better than me talking about it, sounding like a commercial. Ask some of the people on here. Like I tell you, it's pretty cool place. We can hang out, talk fishing techniques, and post pictures, post things for sale, all that kind of stuff. So it's pretty cool. Anyway, good to see everybody. Hope everybody is doing great. Just like that, we jumped up to about 80, 90 people. So I'm glad to see that as well. I do appreciate everybody being here. I know many of you have much better things to do on a Sunday night and sit here and talk with me. So I don't underestimate the value of you guys being here. So thank you. Salmon Stalker, how you doing? So first off, I got a whole thing of cookies right here. I got to thank my new friend Jarek and Jonah and all the guys that came out and fished with us. Was it yesterday? It must have been yesterday. Bachelor party of guys. What a great group of guys. That was such a fun trip. But Jarek, Nick DeGrouchy, thanks for the super chat, my man. I really do appreciate that. And I missed the message that came along with it. I apologize. I'm not running my computer setup tonight. Dang Verizon. Let me finish this first. I want to say thanks to my new friend Jarek and Jonah and all those guys that came out and fished with us. Jarek was kind enough. He's a follower of the channel. He was kind enough to bring me a whole thing of Meyer oatmeal raisin cookies. God, I love these things. I've been sitting here eating way too many of them. I'm going to have another one right now because it's my channel and I can have an oatmeal raisin cookie whenever I want to. So thank you, Jarek. All right, good. We're gonna have some water. Thanks, guys. Yeah, that's a good cookie. I love those things. Well, while you're here in Manistee, if you're in Manistee and you're looking for a really good bakery, they're really good. For a big chain store, they're really good. Really good. Anyway, thanks for the super chat, though, Nick, wherever you're at. I missed the message, but I do appreciate it. So, where are we going to go here tonight? I don't have much to talk about. I'll do a fishing report, of course. I don't have a topic of the week. We did a pretty good one last week, but I do have some things for you. I want to talk about the Ludington Offshore Classic, and I want to say congratulations to the winners down there. The Pro Division Slipknot, very well done. That's a great tournament to have on your resume. I don't know the captain of that boat. I believe his name is Lenny Vaughn, but seems to be a very capable and very capable captain out here on the Great Lakes. He's won a few now, so congratulations to them. Congratulations to Offline winning the amateur division. It's another tough one to win. And I don't know who won the 333 yet, but whoever did, that's a good one to win there. But anyway, to all of you that may have participated in the Ludington Offshore, I'm sure you had a great time. There's a lot of really good boats that get in that tournament. A lot of really good anglers, no matter what division you're in, whether it be pro, am, ladies and kids, the legends, the big boys. Man, it is chocked full of top tier fishermen. So, yeah, it's one I'd love to win someday. Hope to someday down in the future, but if I never do, it's just fun to compete in that darn thing. Yeah, we're going to talk about a few things. I'll go over a couple things that have been working. We'll talk about some things that have not been working because they seem to outweigh the things that have been working lately. And we'll get into a little Q&A at the end. But let's do the fishing report real quick. Again, I'm going to mention that I don't have my computer set up tonight. I can't do all the fancy graphics. Bill Dickens, thanks for the super chat, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much, Bill. It's good to see you, too. But yeah, I'm not running my computer because Verizon sucks. And apparently if I do one live stream here on the boat using their hotspot, it sucks up my entire month's worth of hotspot. So thank you, Verizon. Very well done. And I know I'm not going to pay an extra $29.99 a month so I can have more hotspot covered. So you can you can do what I'm thinking right now, but I'm not going to say it. But the marina here does have Wi-Fi. It's just not expanded far enough yet. They need to put up some booster towers, and once they do that, I should be able to run a little more of that Wi-Fi and do the computer setup and all the fancy stuff that people seem to really like. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is comments are coming through really fast. So if I miss one, just get back and circle it back, please, and I'll see if I can catch it a little later on. Kirk Filippo, how you doing? Good evening back to you. All right, fishing report here in Manistee. Mike F, hey, how you doing, bud? Fishing report here in Manistee. I can really just talk about Manistee right now because, of course, with the big tournament that just went on, information for Ludington, Frankfurt, all those things it's been pretty tight-lipped. So I can only talk about Manistee. Bill, don't worry about it. Bill Dickens, don't worry about it, man. Thank you. So 5 days ago, we went on a morning trip. And as soon as we sat down, we were getting lit up. And I thought to myself, here we are. Kings are finally showing up. We probably had 20 bites that morning, if not a couple more. And we landed probably half that. We had good coho around, which accounts for some of the bites, some of the fish that were coming off. Steelhead were around. Mature kings were around. Immature kings were around. Divers were just pounding. The center downrigger, the shoot rigger was just going off. And long lines were so-so, but I'm thinking to myself, man, this is it. The mother lode's here finally. We're going to have great fishing and happy faces, happy customers. And within a day or two, it tanked. And it has been the head scratcher here at my marina, and I'm sure as many others, is where the heck did those fish go? And it seems like they're still here. They're just not biting. And some boats have been going out and getting a few. And by a few, I mean 4 or 5, maybe 6. But many others are going out and getting 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 a trip, like we've been doing the last couple of days. It has not been stellar. Now, I always told you in the past, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. If we have a stinker trip, I'm going to tell you we had a stinker trip. Just because I'm a charter boat doesn't mean I'm going to go out and catch 20 fish every darn day. It just does not happen. So a couple days ago, I think we had 5, and then we had 4, and then the last trip I ran out yesterday, we had 2. I think we were 2 for 4, 2 for 5, something like that. And so the conundrum, like I said right now, was where the heck are the fish? And my gut feeling is they're still here, because I could see them on my graph. I run a Lowrance Elite 9 off the back of the boat, which allows me to pretty much watch what's going on in my downrigger lines and in that vicinity. And I could see those fish coming up, looking at our downrigger lines, following for a while, and then just peeling off. Another one come up, or several would come up, take a look for a while, and peel off. And I was talking to several other boats in the area, really good fishermen, and they're reporting back the same thing. Just could not get them to bite. So, thinking about things, we did have a big lightning storm 2 nights ago, and a minor one like the night after that. And I know lightning can shut fish down. A lightning storm can shut fish down just like that. And it really depends on how long they want to stay shut down. I've seen them get right back up and eat within a few hours. I've seen them shut down for a couple, 3 days. And I think that probably has some That's attributed to some of the shutdown. Could be no bait in the area. Could be the water temp has changed. Could be a ton of things going on out there. But all in all, they've just shut down right now. Now, it could be that we go out tomorrow morning, and I do have a trip tomorrow morning. It could be that we run out there, and boom, they're right back on again. Or it could be that they're still closed mouth, lockjawed. I don't know. Time will tell. Even trout fishing up to the north. I know a couple captains are ran up there to the north and to the normal productive trout grounds and have come back with 3 or 4, maybe 5 trout, which is also not real good. The water temps are getting much better. I will say that on the plus side. We do have a temp break out there now. On the top, it's about 65 degrees. Yep, Scott Walker, I'm just about to talk about that. Yeah, on top, we got about 64, 65 degrees, down to about 55 to 60 feet, where we're now getting down into the 40-degree mark. So it's a gradual taper down, kind of a soft break, down to that 60, 65-degree water. And I didn't fish today, so I don't know if it's changed or not. But yesterday, that's where it was. And then we're getting down to that high 40s, then low 40s as you go down a little bit more. So it's nice to have... it's nice to have that temp break setting back up, because that's gonna help our fishing tremendously. The bait is still out there. We know that because we're seeing the bait in the fish, but we're not marking a ton of bait, which is also interesting. We know the bait's there because the fish that are coming in, like I just said, do have bait in them. So is the bait? Is it so far down we're not marking it? I don't think that's it. Is the bait up near the surface, which is a very strong possibility, and which is it's difficult to mark bait up near the surface because you get a lot of surface clutter on your graph, typically from waves and even light penetration, things like that. The output of your motors will also distort it. So it's really hard to mark bait sometimes. If it's up on top. But if seagulls are on dive bomb and on the surface, there's bait around. You'll know if you see alewives coming out like a dolphin out of the water, there's bait around. So it could be the bait's up on the top too, or maybe it's fled town. I don't know. Conundrum. It's a head scratcher, but we're gonna figure it out. And no matter what, we're going to we're gonna have fish eventually. There's no doubt about it. And I still think it's going to be a very, very good year. Now, it's frustrating when you look at the reports coming from across the water, and thank you, Wisconsin guys and gals over there. Hey, you guys have been knocking it out of the park. Congratulations to you. Looking up towards Manistee, is a Fairport, I believe, up in UP, that's just been smoking them also. Looking at some of the southern ports have just been smoking them. It's frustrating. It's frustrating when we're sitting here in this world-class port and we're watching this like bubble of force field around us where the fish just aren't showing up yet. So it's frustrating to watch that. Nobody's more frustrated, I think, than a charter captain when they're not catching fish. Don't get me wrong, I love my days on the water, but it can be frustrating when you're not picking up the fish. But they're going to be here. They're going to show up. So it's a matter of time. It's a matter of a little patience. Be patient, young Jedi. They will show up, and we're still gonna have a really good year. It's a good cookie. No. Anyway, when they do show up, like they did 5 days ago, our divers were smoking. We probably had, like I said, near 20 bites, if not a couple more. 2/3 of them were probably on our divers, and the other majority was on the center downrigger. We had a couple bites on the out and downs on the corners. We had a couple bites on long lines, but the majority was right on divers. Low diver 80 to 100 back, high diver 125 to 175 back was just taking them. And I was walking through Tangle Tackle the day before that trip, and I saw a brand new pack of flies sitting there. The KRW is owned by Tangle Tackle right here in Manistee, KRW Flies. And there's this brand new pack of KRW flies called the HT Blue Dolphin Fly, if I remember the name right. HT stands for Hot Ticket. It's one of the charter boats here in town. And the Blue Dolphin, of course, we all know that. And that pack of flies caught my eye, so I grabbed them up. There were 6 flies in there. I'm sorry, 5 flies were in there. I put 1 on each one of my divers, and I put 1 on that center downrigger, and every one of them was taking fish. I'm telling you, if that fly, and this isn't snake oil, this isn't BS snake oil. If that fly, I mean, I know that's a small sample size, 1 trip, but if this fly continues to produce like it did that day, and I think it's gonna be up there with like the Riverside and the Pickled Sunshine. It was a really, really good fly. So I'm going to show that to you. You're not going to be able to see it really well here because the light's not great, but that Beckhold right there, that big Beckhold 11-inch, that one, or the Mercury Falling in the white. And I don't have one right now. I've lost them all, or I've given them away. But those things right there, coupled up with this fly on a center downrigger or your deep downrigger, was just, I think it's going to be money. I think it's going to be really good for you. But that is the fly right there. And what you got, well, I'll talk about the beads. The beads are all glow beads except for that top one, a nice green glow. And the majority, or the fly, is a green, like a pearl green with little boy blue in there, and you can see that little purpley blue tint in there, and then white glow, or white glow's green, I believe it is. That son of a gun was money. I want to see if we can get a good look at that. Money behind that big 11-inch big slick white hooch from Beckhold. Good, really, really good. I think the majority of my bites on that fly though came on this Pro Troll 8-inch. It's a UV Crush 2-face, also with that fly on there. And if you're asking the question, am I going to run this tomorrow? That is an emphatic yes. I'm running all of those again tomorrow. Another really good one that day was that 8-inch Spin Doctor, again with the white UV Crush on there with the green dots. And there's the same fly still on there. And then another really good one that day was the Green Sparkler. It's a UV back Green Sparkler. There's that fly on there again. White Slick also had it on there, the Double Slick rather. What else did I run it on? Ran it on a UV Showtime. That went also. The Double Slick went also. But that was really, really good. That was really, really good. And that was really, really good. Now, I'll tell you right now, Tangle Tackle doesn't have that fly yet up on their website. I just talked to the owner. They're going to try to get it up on the website tomorrow. And again, I'm not trying to sell you smoke here, but if you need a couple extra flies, you want to try them out, I would highly recommend that fly. It was a really, really good one. I think it's going to continue to be. Anyway. Oh, good. What else I want to say? Oh. Now, I've never owned a salmon candy product before. I don't know why. You know, I've been Dreamweaver, Beckhold, Pro Troll, but I wanted to try out some salmon candy spoons because I've heard so many guys talk about them around here. Some good things and some negative things. So I'm not the kind of guy that just goes on rumors. I like to see things with my own eyes. I like to put things in my own hands before I make any kind of opinion on anything. Just because you tell me something's crap, I'm not going to believe that it's crap until I see it. So I ordered up some salmon candy spoons because my gut feeling, or not my gut feeling, but my reasoning is I want to do a video on spoons and their durability. Maybe towards the end of the season, I want to do a video on like a torture test on Dreamweaver spoons, Pro Troll spoons, Stinger spoons, Yak spoons, salmon candy spoons. I want to figure out a way to torture test these things. Not, you know, it's very, very, it's very difficult to say what catches more, because you might go out one day and one spoon catches more than anything else, or the next day it's probably going to be different. It's very, very, it'd be a very vague test that way. But I can test durability. I can test paint durability, glow durability, length of glow, size, weight, all those things. I can test all that and report all that back to you. And it's going to be subjective, up to you whether or not you think one spoon's better than the other based on those criteria. So that's one of my plans coming forward. So I did get some salmon candy spoons, and I'll tell you right off the bat, they are very, very flexible. They're a thin, lightweight spoon, much like a Stinger or a Yak, and they are very, very flexible. When you bend them, they pop right back to their normal shape, which is pretty unique, pretty cool actually. I did run the Charlie Special over the last week. That spoon also took Silver Streak, yeah, Scott. Exact. Silver Streak's on there. That Charlie Special took several steelhead for us over the last week. That's one thing I will say about that. I didn't run many of the other ones yet. One was a green Easter egg, and the other one I can't even remember what it was. Because I want to compare a UV spoon, a glow spoon, and maybe a heavy paint spoon against other spoons. So that's why I got those. I gotta say, I was impressed by it. So, salmon candy, not bad. I will say that. I was glad to put them in my hands and make my own opinion on them. Anyway, that's coming up in the future. And guys and gals, that's about all I got for you this week. I don't have much more. Fishing's going to be good. It's coming around. I got that. I feel positive about it. I can't let anything get me down on that kind of thing. It's just fishing. Just go out there and have fun anyway. You know, just go for it anyway. It's still going to be a great day on the water. But anyway, let's open it up to any questions and answers or questions you guys may have. I'm happy to answer anything that I know. If I don't know, I'll find out the answer for you if I can and get back to you on it. Bill Dickens, yeah, your best spoons are bent and beaten. Yeah, no doubt. If you looked in my spoon drawer, you'll see many of them in there have a very unique bend to them caused by either myself or the fish. And they're a lot of them had the tape ripped right off them. Mark Pearson wants to know about how about a report from the boat tomorrow. I'm actually got the cameras ready to go tomorrow. Tomorrow morning I have Ryan Purchase coming on the boat. If any of you have been on the channel for a while, that's a name you probably recognize. Osprey, I know you're coming back soon. But yeah, Ryan's going to be on the boat tomorrow. I got the cameras ready to go. Excuse me. Nick, surface currents versus currents at depth. Do they have correlation, work against each other, difference? You know, every day is a little different, but yes and no. Sometimes surface currents are the exact same currents that you have down at 100 or 50 feet. A lot of days, though, it's the exact opposite. One current's at the surface, and a different current's down at the ball, and that's where a fish hawk learning to read your divers and your downriggers really comes into play. And yeah, I got to be honest, a fish hawk is imperative. I mean, it is a crucial piece of equipment. But after you do it for a while, you start knowing when you can dial things in just by eyesight, how your divers are pulling, how your downriggers are blowing back. But it's imperative to verify that with a fish hawk probe. You can look at something and still be completely wrong, and you think you're completely right. It happens to me all the time. It's imperative to dial it in with that fish hawk. But yeah, you can start getting a really good feel the more you do it out there. Currents especially. All right, so somebody just asked best site for a wave forecast. I use fish weather pretty often. Wind finder is also good. Wind finder though is typically way off. I normally add at least a foot on a wave for a wind finder forecast. Fish weather is pretty good. The NOAA forecast is really, I would say the NOAA forecast, the wave forecast, is probably my most trusted one. It would be in between the NOAA and fish weather. If somebody asked about a center copper, a shoot copper, do I run one? I guess I would assume you mean maybe on like a stern planer board, which would be right off the back of your boat. I used to do that crazy stuff, and it's just not worth it. I've had too many tangles doing that kind of thing. Trying to get, if you're running like a 400 copper off the back, straight off the back, trying to get that thing out of the way when you got a PO'd king coming in on you, or a diver pops up into it, or something else goes on, it's just not worth it to me anymore. Somebody just asked, and I missed the name, I apologize. Why do I run a lot of flasher fly, a lot of cut bait on the divers and things like that versus long lines? We run a ton of spoons on our divers. We also run flashers on our long lines too. I prefer to run flashers on copper over lead core. I think copper is a little more rigid and gives that flasher a little bit better, a little bit of rigidity to work against. But there are guys out there and gals that run it off lead core also. But yeah, you can mix it up any which way you want to. Any which way. Craig Rao going to Ludington next weekend. Good luck down there, Craig. Hope you do well. What else you got? What else can I answer for you? We got about 170 people here. Great to see everybody. Appreciate you being here. It's a good question, Todd. If I was fishing solo and I could only run 3 lines, what would I run? Dan Canham, how you doing? Todd, that's a good question. And I want to give you that obligatory answer. It would depend on the day, but let me think about this. If I was going out tomorrow, I could only run 3 lines. Based on what's been going on, I would probably run 2 divers and 1 downrigger. And the only reason I would pick that right now is because long lines have been quieter than the most. Divers and downriggers have been the more productive. Now, a week might go by and it's been all long lines, and I would change to say maybe a diver and 2 long lines, or a downrigger and 2 long lines. It would change, I'm sure, every day, but you can't ever really go wrong with a couple divers and a downrigger. That's been the way it's been done forever and ever and ever. But then I think about a 300 copper or a 10 color, how good they are. And I want to change my answer, but yeah, you can't go wrong with that setup. Got 37 thumbs up on the channel or on this live stream so far. Thank you so much for that, Todd. You're welcome. If these live streams help you out in any way, just leave a thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. It helps the channel out tremendously. And if you think about subscribing, it would be wonderful if you did so. If you want to do the one thing that really helps this channel out more than anything else, it's just subbing for us. We do appreciate that. Yeah, David, Rob Otham. Yeah, you can run spoons behind flashers. Of course you can. And like you just said, they'll run a long lead, 5-6 foot lead, so that that flasher isn't doing something funky to that spoon. You want that spoon to have its normal action. I think somebody asked a while ago, what's my lead off the Beckhold? This for me is about, well, let's see. I go from my belly button down to the floor. That's my lead. I'm 6 feet tall. That's got to be, let me take an eyeball here. It's really from my hand to my opposite shoulder, so that's all 36 to 40 inches, somewhere in there. That's my typical lead on those things. My typical lead on a spin doctor, and I've talked about this before, I go from my hand to the top of my shoulder, just like that. That's my lead. It's probably 23, 24 inches. Or you can just go 3 times the length of the flasher if you're in a rush. That's another great way to do it. Bill Dickens just sent me another super chat, man. Thank you. Appreciate that, bud. Very nice of you. What else can I answer for you before I turn this off and eat way too many cookies? All right, getting pretty quiet. No problem. I got to go get gas for the boat anyway, so we can start wrapping this up. I do have the GoPros ready for tomorrow morning. We're going to put together a video for that. If we get something going, there's a fly down here. Speaking of flies, they're buzzing me. Ooh, what's my favorite spoon color? Rust, man. That's a tough one. I don't have one. They're all my favorites, to be honest with you. Because every day something's going to do something different for you. But you can't beat, you can't beat an RV Wonder Bread. The Dreamweaver Super Bread, the Dreamweaver Wonder Bread, the Moonshine Wonder Bread, the Moonshine RV Wonder Bread. You can't beat that thing. That's typically a really good spoon. Hope that helps. Past that, there's no way. No possible way I can narrow it down more than that. All right? Somebody just said hello to me from Georgia Bay, I believe. Hello back to you. Somebody said they have, I think, a 300 and a 400 copper. What's the next one you should go with? A 200 copper and a 150 copper will do you well also. How far behind the ball do I run my... I missed the rest of that. My typical ball leader length, it can't go wrong going 25 feet. But I've talked about that rule of 100 in the past, which is you always want to make your links add up to 100. So if you are down 70 feet, put a 30-foot lead behind the ball. If you're down 20 feet, put an 80-foot lead behind the ball. Always adds up to 100. If you're down 50 feet, put a 50-foot lead behind the ball. Pretty easy way to remember, if you want to change up your leads. That works pretty well. Matt Smith just subscribed. I appreciate that, Matt. Very nice of you. Does a mag wire diver need to go behind a planer board? Absolutely not. No, do not put divers behind planer boards. And that's not a dumb question. It's one I've heard many, many times. No, a mag diver, when it goes up on its own plane, you're going to adjust that weight on that diver. It's going to plane in the water one way or another, and it's going to pull away from the boat on its own. No, don't put it on a planer board. You will hate yourself when you try to bring that thing in, guaranteed. Good question, though. Not a dumb question. Good question. I thought we were winding down and a whole bunch of questions came through, so I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything before I sign off here. Yeah, Bob Hunter, big rotators can be very dangerous with long leads behind the ball. You're absolutely right. The deeper I go with big flashers especially, the more I tighten, I shorten up that lead behind the ball. If I'm down below 100 feet, it's usually 15 to 20 feet for me behind the ball. Not much more than that. That fly is just buzzing through here. If I catch him, I'm going to eat him. Hope I don't catch him. All right, I think we're winding down now. Thanks again, everybody, for being here. We will circle back next Sunday, 7 p.m. If you have a topic that you want covered, and I talked to a couple of the guys over the last charters, things that they would like covered, I toss those ideas around in my head, rattle it up. I would love to hear from all of you what you would like to see covered in a video. Again, I'm still looking for a videographer. If you are out there, you know somebody that does videography, somebody that's willing to come onto the boat, do some video shooting, do some professional editing. I'm still looking for somebody like that. I've been looking now for about a month. I've not heard from anyone except for one guy, and that one guy just did not quite meet the criteria. Super nice guy, but just wasn't what I was looking for. So if you got somebody out there, or you yourself or somebody like that, get a hold of me. My website's down below. My phone number's on there. Call me. I'd be happy to maybe work something out with you. Eric's Adventure, you like the snapshots of the morning setups? I'm probably going to go set one up right now. I might put a video out tonight then. All right, we're out. Take care, everybody. We will see you next week, 7 p.m. right here. Go catch some fish. Take care.